What's up everybody, D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla x Kong news roundup. That's right, in this video we are going to be continuing our chronological journey through the development of Godzilla x Kong the New Empire by talking about events that happened in November of 2022. Let's do it, man. Guys, I'm feeling the Kenergy on this one. I'm going to keep the Kenergy up for all the videos that I record today, which is going to be so many if I do this right. That's why I got to keep this moving. Okay, starting out, I actually want to do something a little different. I want to show off Niall Stenson's Godzilla King of the Monsters theme on guitar. Bear McCreary created an amazing rendition of Godzilla's theme from Akira Ifukube in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Niall Stenson made an incredible cover of that. Stenson's actually one of my favorite cover artists on YouTube. I think he's incredible. He's got some amazing Ben 10 ones as well. I love his work. He's got so many great covers on guitar, but this one's an incredibly exciting one because it's Godzilla, so I wanted to show it off, and also I'm just going to let it kind of play under the art section of this video. Getting into it, we've got Jack LaSpooky did a Destroy All Monsters poster. So this is actually part of a larger art piece he created, but this is his little Destroy All Monsters section of it, and it's really cool. I really appreciate the way he threw so many epic monsters in there. Not only is it like Godzilla and Kong, but he made sure to put a Muto in, Scylla, a Skullcrawler. Scylla's looking great, by the way, man. Behemoth, Methuselah, Rodan, and Ghidorah, who looks incredible. I also like the little question mark above Kevin's head. That's very cute. I am definitely in the majority opinion here when it comes to that. I would love to see the MonsterVerse do a Destroy All Monsters styled Avengers type film, bring all the Titans together for one final finale, one epic hoorah for the MonsterVerse. I just hope it's down the line because I don't want the MonsterVerse to end anytime soon. Christian Willett 117, one of my fave artists, created this awesome Burning Godzilla piece. Holy cow, man. This thing looks epic. Godzilla's looking so devilish and sinister and awesome, and I love the lightning erupting out of his back, and you've got that like red wavy smoky thing coming off of his back. This looks incredible. I'm a big fan of it. Jamster Jupiter brought us a stylish Ghidorah rendition. Now this is actually a Showa Ghidorah, but he tagged it with King of the Monsters and a bunch of the people from King of the Monsters, so I'm showing it off here. This is a really cute one. I really love the Ghidorah. I really love this style of it. I love the puffy smoke in the background. I love the very soft scales all over Ghidorah. I love the fuzzy fur on his necks. I love the exaggerated moons on his foreheads. And I love the way you've twisted up the tails. This is great. I really wanted to show this off because it's a really great, cute piece. And I think it's awesome. I also think Scom3373's Godzilla King's Army art is so incredible. This is an iconic piece. I mean, you've seen this before, I'm sure of it. Many people have talked about this. You've got Godzilla standing over what looks like the Golden Gate Bridge, I think, so maybe we're back in a San Francisco-esque setting, but he's a very King of the Monsters styled picture with the blue lightning striking down around Godzilla, who's glowing blue. You've got all of the planes and jets and ospreys flying in. You've got the Argo jet, which I'm really sad the MonsterVerse did away with because it's epic, and a bunch of battleships cruising into the bay. This is such an incredible, exciting piece, and it really represents the coexistence that was captured in that scene in King of the Monsters when Godzilla got to lead a charge with the army, which was so cool. That's a crazy thing to say happened in a movie. Wild that Godzilla led a charge for the army, but he did, and it was awesome. Jurassic Zilla actually had his post shared by Legendary Comics. This is his Rise of Doug poster. I think we can all agree that Godzilla vs. Kong Rise of Doug would be Legendary's first billion-dollar picture. I don't think they've had one yet. I think this is so goofy and so cute. He's obviously photoshopped Doug into the iconic Godzilla x Kong the New Empire beach sequence, which we still have yet to find out which monster's coming out of the sea. Many people think it's the bad guy, many people think it's Godzilla. I think it's probably gonna be Godzilla fighting the bad guy. So maybe a bit of both going on, or the bad guy and then Godzilla shows up, something like that. But there's Doug coming out of the ocean, probably scaled accurately too, by the way. Great work, man, very fun. The United States Godzilla Twitter accidentally celebrated the wrong release date for Godzilla vs. Kong. They celebrated it as if the movie had come out on its intended release date, posting their shout out on November 20th, 2022, thinking that the movie came out on November 20th, 2020, when it just in fact did not. Obviously, it's no surprise that the movie was delayed due to COVID, and then it was released on March 31st, 2021. We all know that, but I guess somebody over at Toho did not. Uh-oh. Legendary released Let Them Fight Christmas album merchandise. Now, I think I'll probably talk about this stuff a little more when we get into the Christmas season, but this is really cute. These are actually photoshops made by Gormaru Island with Godzilla and Kong in front, but I actually really like these album covers they made. They're very adorable, and like I said, I will talk about those more when we get into the Christmas season's worth of videos, so like whenever I'm covering the December news. I think it's really fun that Legendary did that. Also, Let Them Fight is a very fun album title considering it's probably the most iconic quote of the MonsterVerse overall. Spiral Studios revealed their upcoming Mothra 2019. This is the Ultimate Masterline Battle in Boston edition of Mothra. This is the adult Mothra, I believe it's called the Mothra Amigo or something like that. The base for it's really cool with these buildings down there. They don't actually, I can't like recognize them as being buildings from Boston. I've been to Boston. I don't recognize any of these as being actually adaptations of buildings in Boston, but the art piece itself is really cool. I like how they give the impression that Mothra's wings are creating updrafts because you have these little fire swirls going on. Obviously, the explosion's got a fire swirl down by the building, but also one coming off of the building has one too, and this is also a really creative and clever way to give Mothra the impression that she's flying, because obviously they have attached the fire swirl to her back so that she can have the impression that she's floating above it. She looks incredible. This is an instance where I'm not really annoyed that they gave her classic Toho colors, because Mothra does flash orange in that Battle of Boston sequence. This is also probably the best rendition of Mothra 2019 that we've seen in terms of the actual details in the sculpt, which you would think it would be because Spiral Studios is such a high quality brand. They're giving us the most high quality version of all of these characters, but Mothra's looking awesome. She's kind of hid behind her pincers. I also like they gave her stinger. It's sticking out in this. Really cool stuff. That's not the only thing Spiral Studios revealed, as they also revealed their full Ultimate Masterline Battle in Boston series lineup. This features Burning Godzilla, who also comes with the deluxe edition with the Mothra wings flaming out of his back. Originally, concept art was designed by Matt Frank for that. You've got the Ultimate Masterline Ghidorah 2019, which was their first flagship character. It was incredible. And now you've got Mothra. Now, many people have noticed, and I have noticed as well, that a lot of the time Rodan gets the short end of the stick. Not only is he not included here, but oftentimes he's left out altogether. Like Godzilla Battle Line also left Rodan out when they did their King of the Monsters pack with Ghidorah and Mothra. I don't understand why. Rodan was probably at his most iconic in Godzilla King of the Monsters. That seemed to be one of the most universally loved portrayals of the character, and was also probably the coolest he's ever been. So it's crazy that people keep sleeping on Rodan 2019, because not only is it the best Rodan design, but it's just the best overall. Okay, taking a look at the past here, because in the next video we will be looking at the present, also the past, but more of the present. Here's a look at some Godzilla vs. Kong crew merchandise. So this, for anybody wondering, when you are a crew member on a giant Hollywood production, a lot of the times they will give you crew merchandise that is specialized for whatever department you are in, and that's what we're seeing here. What we're seeing here is a t-shirt that says Godzilla vs. Kong, Gold Coast 2019 extras casting, so that's whoever was casting the extras. And it looks like on the front you've just got the GVK logo, and on the back you've got GVK, Gold Coast, and then you've got the silhouette of that friggin' banner, yet another version of that banner. And then you've got a guy in a Kong suit and a guy in a Godzilla suit sitting there chowing down together. That's very cute, and a good homage to the old suitmation that these movies started out with. I believe I've got some other crew merchandise. If I do, I'll throw it up here while I'm talking. Those ones that I just showed off obviously come to us from KDM. Links down below. That'll be relevant in the next Godzilla x Kong video, so you can look forward to that. Legendary officially changed its distributor to Sony from Warner Bros. This is for most projects. So again, as I mentioned in a previous video, I'm not really going to get into it here. Legendary has changed distributors a couple times during the history of the MonsterVerse. Now they're at Sony. That means that most Legendary pictures will be distributed through Sony into theaters. That is not the case for the MonsterVerse or Dune, but the MonsterVerse is staying in-house with Warner Bros. And Legendary working together on it, obviously for the upcoming movies, because for television shows, Legendary has shopped those around. The MonsterVerse released some NFTs into the metaverse. Yeah, okay, fine. Maybe they feature Dope Pope's renders, I think. Good job, Dope Pope, on these designs. They look neat. There's a Godzilla with the blue spines. There's a Kong, a Mechagodzilla, a Skullcrawler, a Warbat, Nozuki. I like that they gave him both names. Hell yeah, we're finally getting some recognition of the name Nozuki. That's cool, at least. Hellhawk, who was originally going to be named Yoshuma, which I'm sad that they got rid of, because clearly Nozuki, Yoshuma, Wingard was trying to pay homage to the Japanese, where these creatures are inspired by, but for some reason, toy companies did not think those names would sell well, so they changed the name without really getting the blessing from a lot of the creatives on Godzilla vs. Kong. They just needed the studio go ahead. There's also a Scylla, a Leafwing, a Titanus Dug, and an unidentified rock creature from Godzilla vs. Kong. These guys don't seem to scale together, but whatever. The Scylla looks like Dope Pope's rendering, so I think it's going to be from Dope Pope. That's also not the first time the MonsterVerse has dropped NFTs. A while ago, they dropped 3D NFTs for Godzilla. There's a Godzilla one. You can see him here. There's a Kong one. You can see this one. These ones were like animated. They roared and moved and growled and stuff. So there's the Kong. There's a Mechagodzilla. That one actually looks pretty cool. Hey, Mechagodzilla's looking pretty sick. And one thing I appreciated was that they give us a 3D NFT of Gia's doll of Kong. That's very neat. Pretty cool of them to include. Who cares? NFTs are the stupidest shit. Don't buy them. Legendary doesn't need your support that bad. Kate Wormhold is signed on to Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire as the movement coach and choreographer for Kong mocap. Godzilla vs. Kong's mocap was done by Alan Henry, who did some Kong motion reference for stuff like when he's on the boat or for some of the more small, intimate moments. Unfortunately, these are not like mocap actors. It's not like we're getting Terry Notary to do a full performance here. We're literally talking like movement reference and that's it. They're not really playing the monsters as much as they are doing small movement references. I've talked to TJ Storm about why they didn't do mocap for Godzilla vs. Kong. If you're wondering, the reason is because Godzilla vs. Kong was looking for fast-paced action that was hyper-violent in a way that, first of all, they didn't really need mocap for, because not only do they have plenty of reference on how Godzilla and Kong are supposed to move from the previous films, but the way they were moving in Godzilla vs. Kong was a little more stylized than real life. It was not supposed to be about the performance as much as it was supposed to be about the action this time. So this time they went the route of mostly keyframe animation. That way they could get some more hyper-violent action, swinging around, doing some more prop work than you could have if you had mocap actors. That's the reason that the mocap was dropped for Godzilla vs. Kong. But as I said, some mocap was done for the movie, and I think that's going to be the same instance here. Seems like Kate Wormhold was brought in as the movement coach and choreographer for whoever is going to be doing Kong mocap, but I don't think that's going to be a lot of Kong sequences. I don't think that's going to be a full Kong performance. I think that's just going to be small individual moments throughout the film where maybe they needed a physical reference to do some small human-esque motion. KDM shoots down some plot rumors relating to Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. He states that Millie Bobby Brown will not appear in this movie, and there is no big 3-movie pre-planned arc. I think Legendary and Wingard and the team are doing exactly what we've always been told they would do after Godzilla vs. Kong, which is just play it by ear. Try and make the best movie they can, and if people respond to it well, if it makes money, if people want more, then they'll do more. If it just doesn't, then that's it. Then there's gonna be no more. And that seems to be what's happening here. It's unfortunate that Millie Bobby Brown's not coming back, but I also don't really think there's much else to do with the Madison Russell character. I think it was time for her to go. Mark Russell's the one that I think should stick around, and he's not coming back either. KDM also teased some plot details. So the plot details he teased was that this movie will be set years after the Battle of Hong Kong. We will find out what exactly has happened to the Hollow Earth and how Monarch has taught children under the age of 12 about the world. So clearly, how have they taught Gia? And they've used those schools that we've talked about in the previous video. There's some Monarch stuff going on in this movie. We are finding out what is happening in the Hollow Earth. We're meeting old friends. I don't know what that means. Maybe it means like Kong is meeting another member of his species who he's going to befriend at first before finding out that maybe he shouldn't be friends with that guy. Maybe it means that some old friendly faces are going to cameo in this movie, like maybe a Houston Brooks cameo or something. Maybe it means that Bernie Hayes and Eileen Andrews are going to team up, and that's what he means by old friends. Who knows? We will find out what happens at the Copacabana where all the beach stuff was filmed. Something went from the beach straight into the city, and the fact that he's teasing that it's something makes me think it's probably going to be Godzilla's enemy, and then Godzilla's going to show up and try and fight the thing. That's going to be my guess. He also says that there will be lots of daytime sequences, which is what we love to hear. That's why we love Adam Wingard, because he gives us those daytime monster battles, and that's good stuff, man. We really miss the daytime monster battles. Godzilla vs. Kong did great with that, so shout out Wingard. Yeah, that all sounds good. That all sounds like exactly what we thought this movie was going to be. I'm excited to see the world building. I'm excited to see what's going on in this film, but nothing in there sounded like it really blew my mind. Everything sounded like about what I would think would happen in this new movie. We have a new Rebecca Hall interview. Actually, the interview teases what her hair will look like in this movie. This is a good indication of what her hair is going to look like. I think it's really actually a huge downgrade from Godzilla vs. Kong, but I'm also not going to sit here and shame a person for their hair. Personally, she looked great in Godzilla vs. Kong, and this hair is just not my style. I'm assuming that she has that hair for a different role, and they couldn't do anything about it, because that seems like a strange choice for Eileen Andrews, the character, to go with. But anyways, Rebecca Hall has a new interview. So in this Rebecca Hall interview, she says that she spent a lot of time with Kaylee Hoddle and Brian Tyree Henry, and they crossed over with Dan Stevens a lot too. That's nothing new. We did know that those characters were going to be spending a lot of time together. I think it's very interesting that Bernie's teamed up with them. I think Bernie's going to the Hollow Earth, which is going to be a lot for him. Dan Stevens' character, I believe, is filling in basically for Nathan Lind, and so that makes sense that he'll be doing stuff in the Hollow Earth with Kong as well. It was a relief for Hall to play Andrews again after she's played some darker characters and some more intense roles recently, so it was nice to go to something a little more exciting and loose. She says it's super exciting to return to Eileen Andrews and that this film tops the last one for sure. Some of her direct quotes state, "I had such a good time on the set of the last one, and I loved everyone involved in it." She also said, "I love Adam Wingard. He's such an eccentric visionary in terms of filmmaking, and I really enjoyed just being a part of his neon-inflicted universe." Then she states, "The people in it are great. The people behind it are great. It was really exciting to get to work with Brian Tyree Henry, who I didn't get to work with on the last one this time. We have a lot of stuff together, so that was great. So this whole thing was just delightful." And that sounds wonderful. I'm so glad she had a happy time returning to this. It makes me really happy to find out that these movies aren't nightmares to work on. That's really, really exciting. I'm really happy for her, and I can't wait to see what she does. I actually really like the character of Eileen Andrews, and so I'm excited to see her return. Finally, KDM confirms that script changes happened on Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire while they were filming. Again, it was script changes during filming. However, KDM states this time it's for the better, unlike I think a lot of us feel that a lot of the original decisions in Godzilla vs. Kong sounded a little more interesting. He states that this time all the changes are for the better. These changes are not to the extent of Godzilla vs. Kong. It seems like maybe it's a little heavier than normal, when on a normal film, rewrites are happening all the time, even during shooting, so that's nothing new. Sounds like it's going to be a situation like that. Maybe there was a little more of that going on in some areas than normal, but it does not sound like it's going to be the big Godzilla vs. Kong debacle where to this day we're still trying to uncover what the original movie was. Alright, and that's going to do it for this one, guys. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. I really appreciate the support, guys. If you want to check out the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below, where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man, out.